It is a Marxist-Leninist regime that we may be approaching a point where it's going to be at least more difficult, if not impossible, to stand in the middle. How you view the internal political shift in China, where it is returning to a much more sort of Maoist mode, not completely so, and how other countries, the comfort levels they feel about accepting China's hegemony in Asia, if not in the world. Are you comfortable with this? I mean, Singapore is a small little country. How do you feel about that?
In the world that passes judgments on the internal political systems of other countries. It's a very exceptional country. And I think you all know of American exceptionalism. I can tell you that, the UN is not too far away from here. It's a mile or two away. If you walk into the United Nations, you will find that one of the most sacred principles of the UN Charter, which is actually held to very strongly by member states of the UN, is that we will not interfere in each other's internal affairs. That's enshrined in the UN Charter, and that principle is used by most states when they deal with each other. So the attitude of most states in the world is, you choose your form of government. No matter what you choose, we will deal with the government in power. And so whether China is more Marxist or less Marxist or democratic or undemocratic, we cannot get to choose. It's up to the Chinese at the end of the day choose what kind of government that they have. But I do think also, if I can, Orville, push a little bit back at you, when the United States first fell in love with China in 1971, can I ask you, who was the leader of China at that point? Geopolitics, it's a very cruel business. Ideology can be put aside when necessary, can be brought to the fore when necessary. And even today, if you say that the United States will stand up to Communist parties' regimes, why are you cultivating Vietnam? What's the difference? I mean, doesn't Vietnam also have a Communist party in power? So I'm only saying this because the rest of the world, when I say that the rest of the world has changed, they've become much more sophisticated. They see through all this. They see that, yes, there's a serious geopolitical contest going on between the United States and China. They are very worried about it. They want to maintain good ties with both, and they won't pass judgment.
For Southeast Asia. And when I'm in Singapore, the thing that stuns me is I understand Singapore's situation. But actually, I think you Singaporeans, and I use you as a kind of a metaphor for many people in Southeast Asia, do feel rather profoundly comfortable with Americans. And actually, many people feel rather uncomfortable with China. But it is you don't want to express it too loudly because you don't want to rock the boat. Fair enough. I get it. But I would love to hear you address what I think some would call China's hegemonic pretensions in Asia and the destabilizing effect of that throughout the entire region.
Please ask yourself a simple question. Why have there been no major wars in Southeast Asia since 1979? That's 45 years. There is a hidden genius in Southeast Asia, in ASEAN. We know how to manage geopolitics. We know how to adjust, adapt, be flexible. We know how to maintain good ties with the United States, and we do. Enter a world in which different cultures and civilizations want to learn how to live in peace with each other and can live in peace with each other. Come to ASEAN. Come to Southeast Asia. Please don't be condescending towards this region. this region has accomplished some remarkable things that the whole world can take lessons from. And lesson number one, learn from us how to avoid wars.
First of all, I would say that I agree with you. Condescension towards anyone is not a helpful policy, and I don't want to think that we are condescending towards Southeast Asia. And I think